Peace. Welcome to Soulgroove. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, brother? Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, happy Resurrection Sunday, happy
Resurrection Day.
Resurrection season.
Resurrection season. Let me get that.
Welcome to the vibe. Soulgroove is back. Soulgroove Sunday.
We out here getting prepared. So yeah, let's start it off, bro. Let's get some sounds popping right now just to set up the tune as people get in.
Yep. It's very important as we decide to groove on a soul vibration that we set the standard of the vibrations with sacred tones. So
right.
I say on that as people get ready to come in.
Yeah.
We give thanks to the now. We resurrect with all ancestors known and unknown.
So y'all, going?
Yeah.
Get into the groove, y'all. Soulgroove Resurrection Edition. Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Sunday.
That's right.
Hey.
Happy Easter, brother.
It's about being in action when it comes to what we're speaking of when it says resurrection. That's resurrection in action. And that's what tonight's about. So we appreciate everybody tapping in. Appreciate y'all tapping on that link. We know we outside of the main sphere, but hey, it's all about stepping out and having your own, baby. So yeah, resurrection, my brother.
No, happy resurrection, brother. And today we gonna go over some things with the metaphysical aspect of Easter, what this time of the year, what today is about, what as resurrection is within self, and how you could harness this energy during this time with yourself, with the sun, and with your intentions. Why don't we start with some I am statements, and then with the I am statements, we're gonna let Brother Joel give us a little sound healing with each I am statement. So the first I am statement is going to be, I am resurrected.
I am resurrected. That makes me think of that heart.
Heart chakra. Let's breathe into the heart.
I see jade, ocean green waves within your heart. I am. The most powerful words you can say, I am, and whatever you say behind that is your next resurrected form. Ashe.
Sure. So let's do I am new intentions.
I am new intentions. This makes me think of that first I, because that new intention has to be an imaginative creation within that very center of that brain, that first I.
First I.
It's not the third when you live everything spiritually. It's your first I. So I am new intentions. What those new intentions are, let your imagination expand and create it. And so it is.
Ashe. So why don't we go into some topics of resurrection, the connections of Ishtar, Easter, the symbolism of Osiris, the resurrection of the sun. In your perspective, and especially since you grew up in the church, what is, now since you're in your space of awareness, how can you apply the holiday of Easter, the biblical context, the Gnostic context, and the metaphysical context, and how can we all bring that together, Brother Joel?
It's about bringing it all into self, starting with the baseline that all is self. So all of these stories is just you. All of these instances of a historic figure having this experience is the potential that each being, each God, each creator has. So these are allegories that you're learning of yourself. So ultimately, if all is self, as you can see these things changing outside of you in this resurrection season, that's the opportunity to connect to it and be in alignment with how things are cyclical, but in growth.
Right.
I'm here to grow. I'm here to grow. You're here to grow. The trees are here to grow. All living things are here to grow.
Right.
You know, your intention and is the rudder that guides that ship to where it grows towards. But our energy is given to, and we grow towards that sun energy. So right. Ishtar being the energy where Eastar gets its etymology from. That's a goddess of past generations in that Middle Eastern area. But it's a composite, if we remember, a composite of older deities, a goddess of birth and fertility mixed with a god of war equals Ishtar.
Ishtar. Yeah, so it's interesting because as we're resurrecting and we're coming from the dark night of the soul, as some people will consider of the winter, and you're going into this new paradigm in the spring, what is something that we can harness within ourselves to bring forward into the spring?
You harness the growth and the climb that winter. The cost to get out of winter is the climb. That is why the goat is in Capricorn. It begins the climb up from December 21st to December 25th, the darkest time of that sun's trajectory. But it climbs. So I believe what we're able to do is take that darkness of winter, the time that we just passed through, is the fuel. The darkness is the fuel to push you into the light of spring, into this light of resurrection. That's the opportunity.
Right.
It is a choice as well.
Right.
You literally have to, it's a choice.
You know, and I was just wondering because, growing up, I was, growing up Buddhist, so I didn't really have the context of Jesus growing up.
Yep.
My grandparents were Catholic, but can you clarify more about the story of resurrection and Christ consciousness and how that's related to our own awakening?
Most definitely. So it's supposed to be a bunch of Christs and not just one.
Right.
That's all.
Kind of like multiple Buddhas.
It's supposed to be a whole world of them.
Right.
That's the ultimate aim that we're looking to get to. When you say Christ, etymologically, in the Nile Valley breakdown, which is the hieroglyphics in the Medu Neter, Christ is the Ka rest. Ka rest. Put those two together. That's Ka is the spirit form, which is the ultimate infinite mind. So Ka, and then rest is risen. So risen spirit, one who has a risen spirit, one who's out here with a risen spirit having a powerful nature amongst nature. These are Christ-like beings. Our most recent Christ that we speak of in allegory, Jesus Christ, is the most recent resurrected energy in the form of a risen spirit, a Christ. Right. So all of us have the potential to lift our spirit through the process, the continuous process of resurrection. That's what a Christ does. A Christ continuously resurrects, because with a risen spirit, you have that potentiality even in your thoughts to become greater. So in this story, so when Good Friday happened on Friday, that's basically when that Christ character in this allegory and who this being was on this planet, that's when he paid the ultimate sacrifice, which is the death. Now, it's funny that we speak of that death in the mansion of thought called Christianity. We talk about that death on Easter, but it's also coinciding to the death of the sun on December 21st, when it's at its lowest point, and it stays at the same point for 3 straight days to resurrect on December 25th. Right. That's a form of a resurrection for the sun, but that we call that the actual birth. But isn't a birth a resurrection from another dimension? Right. Any kind of birth is a resurrection, because our oldest ancestor is eternal. We've always been. This is just our most latest form. So the risen spirit has the ability to continuously increase its form, but not have to die. But the spirit of the Jesus story is that he died and took all the darkness that everybody was dealing with. He took it upon himself. And when he died, he went to hell, or the underworld, until on the 3rd day, he arose as a new being, a resurrected human in that same body with the same scars, but back alive.
So what's the symbology in going to hell for 3 days and risen from hell?
It's the cost of taking on a whole world of sin. Is that even you could go to the pits of hell and still come out victorious. That makes you the hero. Right. And so the Christ energy is the hero. So the etymology of hero is the even older Christ figure of our world is Heru. Heru is the original hero. So Christ is a hero in this situation where he rose on the 3rd day. But in the story that Jesus is connected to, 10,000 years earlier, Heru was the original hero in a very similar resurrection story. But his dad was the one who resurrected, Osiris or Asar. Asar was resurrected by his wife after he was tragically coerced and killed by his brother and cut up into 14 pieces and placed all around the world. So this is the energy that also shows how the feminine energy connected to a man and a spouse can help reconstitute a man. Using Anubis, she scoured the entire world and put together this man, her man, put him back together, using Anubis as her esoteric energy of discernment. So a feminine energy with discernment can go all around the world and reconstitute her man, and then to immaculately create a Heru. The last piece that was missing was his phallus. The legend goes that she transmuted into a hummingbird and flapped her wings to the point that he got erect. That is where we get the Washington Monument, the Tekenu, or the obelisk. It is the erection, the meeting of masculine and feminine once again to restart the regenerative cycle.
That's the phallic symbol, the representation.
It's about the springtime springing forth like the Aries, and you germinating and planting seed for blossoming one more agricultural year. That's what Heru, Osiris, and Aset being the entity of the feminine, who was already of the throne. She is the feminine energy in our ancient allegory is the main piece, because she is the child of thrones, and this is the story of her and her husband. So it's the energy of resurrection that, in that situation, the original Trinity being the father, the mother, the child, that mother in a situation resurrected that life-giving, authoritative, electrical man in Osiris or Asar. So that's another resurrection.
You just dropping some gems, bro.
It's another.
So in terms of the story of resurrection, how does this align with our own ego death? Because you and I were talking about how like the symbology and the myths or the mythology and its parallels to the metaphysics and the parallels within self, right?
Yeah.
So if the story is with ego death or a completion of something and in the beginning of something new, and specifically in the story of Jesus going to the underworld and coming out, is there a representation or a need for us to go into the underworld for us to complete an enlightenment process?
Most definitely. That's the hero's journey. And that's what we're all on. We said Heru, right? We're all heroes. The hero's journey actually starts out, you're on top of the world, and then most of the story, you have to go into the underworld and climb out, get pearls of wisdom from other mentors along the way to finally understand how to get out of the darkness and then take back over your territory, which is resurrecting a new self. So the ego death is letting go of the former self to always be able to create a new self. And it's like a constant peeling. Yeah, the constant peeling of the onion, like a constant death, rebirth. It's a cycle of a death and rebirth. Just like the trees and the plants, there's this constant cycle of something dying and reborn in itself. Most definitely, and not having to die or lose its full life force. It goes through a wintry, cold pruning period where it's going to be dark, cold, inclement, very little sun, the least sun you'll get all year. So we see how we respond to lack of sun, even on the elements of the plant life. So we are very much reflections. So it behooves us to disengage from the ego that wants to hold on to this current self and not want to exchange for the resurrection of the higher self.
Right. Well, I think that is the struggle, right? Is that sometimes the older parts of ourselves want to be right, want to be validated, want to hold on. There's a lot of a bias in keeping that ego alive. So, one of my tools that have helped me is in shadow work is really going to what the source is that's creating these patterns, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we're all reflections or aspects within the whole consciousness.
Certainly.
So if there's something specifically today that we're holding on to that we know is either bringing us down, what is it in shadow work that will liberate us from that consciousness so that we could be on a more expansive space to create? Because it's specifically if the ego death is resisting this one belief system and there's all these other beliefs, what is it in the work that we have to do to confront so that this belief will no longer conjure up the whole consciousness or the whole awareness of that thing?
I mean, that's a very good thought. And it's a summation of things. It starts with the bravery and courageousness to actually go into your own Akashic record and start to peel back something that you may have overlooked or subconsciously buried deep down. But to bring it up, take that bravery and give yourself some grace as you deal with it. We all have them. The thing is, we all have them. And the more we all deal with them in that bravery to go, even like some people, it's always a choice. So you could choose not to deal with any of your stuff. But to resurrect usually is to resurrect and to become greater. You want to become greater. So there's a thought of what are you willing to do to become greater? Because all things have a cost. The principle of cause and effect says that nothing is free. Everything's going to have a cost. So seemingly the cost that you pay can be the least, the bare minimum of the return of the energy that you get back. So it's a part of the cost as well. The choice to pay the cost of shedding some tears for some of the things, sitting in some of the emotions that may be decades old.
Right.
But you take that experience of awareness of it and you are able to dissect the next moment where that test is going to present itself. And you're like, dealt with this the other weekend when I was talking with my Reiki master and we was talking about this. Yeah, because there's no such thing as coincidence. If you're viewing this now, this is something you are tuned into with ascending in your own path. So it's about that bravery and courage going into a thought and continuously choosing to retain that lesson that you experience and revisiting it in your Akash.
Right. No, that's a powerful tool, because I think sometimes when we walk into things, we have an addiction to be positive about something, that the positivity actually glimmers over what that needs to be released.
No, it's okay to feel. You need to feel it. You need to feel it.
Like, you need to feel it. You need to be in the you need to be present to it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Like, when you're fully present to something, that's when the ego death occurs, because the ego is actually resisting the presence to what that is that you're resisting most.
Yeah, it won't have like,
so we have this whole
war,
right? Because we can say pride. I mean, layman's terms we call it pride, resistance spiritually, but it's that one thing that is holding us from experiencing that death that gives us the resurrection of
our. Remember, death is a birth. So
yeah,
once one ego version dies, the next version comes up almost as if I needed that.
It's like that butterfly, the caterpillar butterfly,
It is. And that is, I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Look, y'all, when you in that cocoon, it's on the room for one.
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna offer you thoughts that you can take into your shadow sessions, where you're just alone with self in some silence, envisioning things that come up in a certain vibe.
Right.
And so where we are to know these things and put them in motion is like you said, is a difference in my originating school of and mansion of thought and belief. But to know that I can understand self and diagnose all what life is going on just by dealing with myself, that's the best thing. Every death is a birth. So in resurrection form, the object of this game called life, I would say, is mathematically, if you just become your best version of yourself strategically by envisioning and manifesting that in your mind every day, you'll literally become the best version of yourself in this lifetime.
Yeah, so let's tap into that. So for you, in your version of practicality, it starts with the mind. So how do you resurrect in the mind? What are some tools that you use and help in the resurrection of?
So it's keeping an open imagination to not be bounded by what and how this looks. But usually when you resurrect, it seems as if you are newly equipped with new intangibles. Now, a caterpillar ends up taking a new physical form. And we physically change our format, but the form of mental to open up to a new intangible. So you say, okay, the intangible of patience. I want to be more patient tomorrow. What does a world of Joel being more patient look like? Sit in some meditation or take your time to really think about that. It doesn't take long. Your mind is going to throw you anything you need. Just query it. Just ask it something. What do I look like being more patient? You probably see yourself standing in line somewhere you like to go, not being agitated that it may get a little long, but enjoying and being grateful for the taste that you are provided with. Or you may see yourself dealing with a child and you like, man, I've been getting a little angry, but I want to have this patience. You see yourself having a better relationship with the child. You see the child 10 years from now reaching out to you from the moments of patience that you had by just thinking about it. So when you wake up the next day, you've already seen these visions. You've seen the moments that are rewarded and some of the moments that you'll go through to prove it and to test it. And then you're more equipped to wake up in that day to then become Joel with more patience and live those moments out and have that outcome.
Right.
You then have become a more patient version of Joel, which is the different Joel than the Joel before, the day before, that wasn't as patient, which essentially is a resurrection.
But the experience of that whole experience is what led to the resurrection.
The experience that my mind's eye, my first eye, gave me once I said, what do I look like with more of this intangible energy? I said patience. It may be wisdom. It may be charisma. It may be something that's unseen and untouchable. Those are our most powerful things. So usually you're going to have the best resurrection when you desire to add some of those intangibles to your life versus saying, oh, I want to resurrect with a new, exoteric thing. Nah, exoteric thing, all that's going to fade away. So if you strive for the intangible produces all this exoteric. So go for the stuff that's going to get you the most.
Right. So it's that abundant mind state of being able to be creative and having it at a limited space so that whatever it comes in the tangible isn't limited by, you know, a certain or small idea or belief that it should be that certain way. So that
and definitely not be that way permanently.
Right. So the flexibility of the mind, the flexibility of thoughts is important.
Most definitely. And being bendable, being fluid. There's going to be times in our life where we're going to have to be like all of these various elements in nature in a situation. But the body is 7/8 water for a reason. We have to be fluid. Being fluid and open allows you to be ready to receive your next crown chakra / pineal thought of yourself that can make you ignite into creating a quick overnight cocoon. Next thing you know, you're that butterfly version of yourself that you envision.
Right.
And all you have to do is the next day do that same thing again with another quality.
Right. So that's where I go in, and that's where I see the importance of shadow work, because in order for you to authentically be that frequency or the vibration of what that you desire, I feel like you have to clear out whatever that is in the way. And sometimes, yeah,
that's
we can get
that's the pruning.
Yeah, it's the pruning, it's the peeling. And there's like some things that, like, you know, it's something that you desire, but then there's like this weird lesson that keeps coming around it. And you're like wondering what the thing is. That's where I feel like the importance of shadow work is because getting to the core of something could resolve these issues at external level that keep reoccurring because there's something unsettled at the internal. And that's why we might desire more money. We might desire more resources. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but the source of where that's coming from, the source of it,
the
scarcity. Right. Like, is it coming from a space of lack, scarcity? Is it coming from a space of fear?
There you go.
And you know, and that's where it just is that balance of, hey, this is where I need to clear, and this is where I need to set my mind and my intention to what I want. And that goes into the, you know, the moon. The moon cycle is the new moon, the full moon. That goes into where we at now, like springtime. This is a very powerful time where we set new intentions. Whereas they say the fall and the winter is a good time to do your shadow work because you're literally clearing out
the shadow of the year.
It's shadow of the year, exactly. The sun is so far, you know what I'm saying, you're not really connected to the light. So as a year, it's very powerful to look at the year as a way where you get to peel off the old and the winter. And, you know, in some cultures, this is the new year.
This is exactly when the sun takes over more of the day each day after the equinox period. Hey, the children of the sun shall live.
Because you said this is the full moon. This is the first.
So I love the connection of the Asar, Aset, and Heru, a resurrection allegory, because it is like what we celebrate now in Easter, in the reconnection of the masculine energy taking over the day, but only after the full moon has shown herself. And the Sunday after that, that is when we shall dance. That is when we shall feast. When the masculine energy of the sun is overtaken for the year, 6 more months of daylight taking over each 24-hour day until September. And then this is after the first full moon of that. So you brought the masculine energy, the feminine energy, and that Sunday is just the normal Sabbath for the Western religion. So boom, on that Sunday.
Yeah.
So it connects.
You can feel the ritual. That's why there's a lot of ritual going on right now.
Oh yeah, because you know you got to think. Passover is when the sun passes over the celestial equator. Hey, it's more daylight every day, y'all. We done passed over. Let's eat some lamb because we in the Aries, we in the ram. Let's eat some lamb, y'all. We in Aries, the ram, the lamb of the ram. That was Jesus. It's when the sun came into Aries.
That's a powerful connection.
But Jesus also is the fish, the age of Pisces. So that Pisces, it's all connected. It's all connected. It's celestial first. The first stories were in the sky. Imagine you don't have any internet, TV, air. You're starting a civilization and you have only nighttime to rest before you go back to work. You're looking at the stars to figure something and say, hey, let's tell a story with these stars until we go to sleep, maybe.
Right.
And then you start to see the pattern. And these patterns helped us delineate these seasons, which basically is helping all of us because this is the agricultural new year.
Right.
No agriculture, no life. No
Right.
sunlight, no agriculture, no life.
Right.
So that is why this is very important to all cultures.
Yeah, because this energy right now is the time to open up, start anew, plant your, really grow and really see what the fruits of your labor are. And
Yeah.
I felt like I really want to harness this time too to help people just set their intentions and use this time for their own tonight.
Yes, sir. I said.
So
Winter,
before we do,
I just thought about it, bro. Winter is the cocoon for us.
Right, it is the cocoon.
It is the cocoon. Every year, what you did in the winter will shine in this time of the year now.
And it's about like really, I think what happens is that the cocoon period is a good time to be within and the process and to shed, but this is the really time for, that yang masculine energy.
It be yes.
Action based, moving forward with the ideas, the seeds that are planted. This is really things to thrive. Move forward. This is a big move forward energy.
Yes, like we're in this season. This Aries energy is a fire sign. It's hot. It's head first. It's the mental. It's the head energy. The Aries energy is the head. So use your mind to be outward, be out in nature, be seen, be vibrant, be bold.
Right. Be bold.
Being aligned in actions that follow those adjectives are going to take your vibration up along the trajectory that the sun is heading to get to the top for the June 21st solstice. That's what we headed to, y'all.
So yeah, this is a good time for us to harness big intention magic. So if there's anything that you like to create, that's either a big project or something that you've been procrastinating on, this is a good time between now and the solstice.
Right?
So
it's a good time to challenge yourself. This is a great 90-day period.
Right.
This is great.
Right.
It's going to be a shiny 90-day period. If we have to shelter up in the winter. You don't have to do that now. You can go out and be in nature.
Yeah, it's more about being out. This is about
it is about being out, people. Make sure to get out a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Like just go walking out in the woods.
Yeah. Walk it out, get some sun, if you could sun gaze right before the sunset.
I mean, this is the time. Like, it is so right to be outward and out in nature because you're going to reap the benefits of connecting. You're going to blossom just like the trees around you are blossoming right now.
Right. So, brother, why don't we go into some Q&A? If there's any questions that the audience would like to ask, just want to say what's up to everybody.
Yeah, it's love, everybody. We appreciate y'all tapping into the space.
This is Ja, Brother DeMonte, Brother Alfredo, Natalia. What's up, y'all? There are any questions and answers before we go into the sound healing session. This is the time.
Yeah, anything want to be added? We appreciate all the tapping in. Brother Team Hotep in the house. Yes.
Yeah.
That Mami Wata. Asheo. Yeah, man, it's love, y'all. So it's definitely open for any type of interjections or questions right now. And we're going to get set up to bring some more sounds in this space called Sound Soulgroove, I should say. Oh, I love that. Back into your vessel. Take your time. Give yourself grace. That in itself is a resurrection. Give yourself grace. Let's do that more. Our highest intentions await us. Breathing in deeply, taking in light to fill in your vessel. See your highest intention of resurrection. Once more, expand that imagination. Nobody built like you, you design yourself. Breathe in once more, your highest resurrection intention. One more to save our space in the Akash. Breathe it out, so it is. What a time to resurrect. And it's a choice.
Yes, it's a choice.
So the challenge is, let's see, and it's about challenging yourself. See how much you can resurrect until the June 21st solstice.
Yes. What the game is transformation. What are you willing to let go? What are you willing to resurrect? What are you willing to see that is unreasonably different, unreasonably new? What is the transformation where you just wouldn't even think that that's possible? A commitment, a choice is something that is from the space of unlimited possibilities, which some will call miracles.
Yeah. I'm growing to my limitless nature. I expect miracles now.
Right. Staying in the unknown, being aware and being open to whatever that is, and giving yourself space to just allow and be present to it all at the same time. Ashe. Well, my brother, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to give out to the people as we wrap it up?
We're going to be going for a short time, but not a long time. We're just thankful that you come and stand in this space with us.
Yes.
You know, for you to tap in, you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with us. So we appreciate being here in the space, in the moment. So just stay tuned. We're going to keep building together. That's our resurrection. Let's get it.
That's our resurrection, definitely. And, you know, I just want to give a big shout out to my profile, Joel, for really holding the space.
Hey, peace and
love. Thank you, dog. Giving really good knowledge and information in the religious and in the esoteric aspect. And yeah, just check us out. We're going to be doing this a lot more going into this new year, this resurrected year.
That's
Or this
right.
time of resurrection. And thank you again, everybody, for showing up. I say.
The Soul Groove, y'all. Check out my
Soulgroove.
It'll be right around the corner. Peace and love and power.
Ciao. Peace and love. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.